Kia ora koutou. Welcome to the Dangerous Dams Policy Hearings and Deliberations panel meeting for Wednesday the 22nd of February. I'm the Group Manager for Environmental Assurance. My name is Kim Drummond and I have the pleasure of opening proceedings today before we elect the Chair. And I'll start with an opening karakia. Tuia ki runga, tuia ki raro, tuia ki roto, tuia ki waho, tuia tātou te tangata, ki te kaupapa o te huinei, ki te kaupapa o te rangi nei, mōri ora ki te kia tātou katoa. So, greetings. I would now like to open proceedings by calling for nominations for chairperson. Councillor Dowler. Do we have a seconder for that nomination?
Yes, I'm happy to nominate, second that.
Right, so yeah, Councillor Dowler with the nomination, Councillor Mackenzie seconds that. All those in favour?
Aye.
Passed. Welcome, Chair.
Thanks, guys. I did ask. Mike, right, housekeeping. I know that we've got the news media in the room on Zoom, and that's about all. Amy, you're going to lead this. Everyone else here, we don't need to go through the housekeeping because it's pretty standard. We've got no apologies, and we've got one report, and Amy, you're leading that. So over to you. Right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Pretty straightforward deliberations reports here on the policy on dangerous dams, earthquake-prone dams and flood-prone dams. I'll give a brief summary of the report. And just to remind you, Section 161 of the Building Act requires a regional authority to adopt a policy on dangerous dams, earthquake-prone dams and flood-prone dams in their region. And on the 13th of May, the Building Dam Safety Regulations 2022 came into effect. Those regulations introduced further responsibilities on regional authorities and dam owners. You may remember back in March, 28th of March, when I think you made your decision on consultation, the government also made an announcement that it would change the definition of a classifiable dam. We signalled that change in the consultation document, and the regulations have now been updated for the higher threshold to classify a dam. Within the report, dangerous dams are defined in Section 7. So the consultation process was a federal consultation procedure as required by the Building Act. We ran that consultation from 1 April to 5 May. And during that consultation, we contacted approximately 50 owners of larger dams within the district to let them know consultation on the policy was underway and provide them with a copy of the document and how to make a submission. We also contacted some key stakeholders, including the local FENS office, Nelson Tasman Civil Defence and Emergency Management Group and Heritage New Zealand, as well as some other potentially interested parties, including Waimea Irrigators, Irrigation New Zealand, Federated Farmers, Horticulture New Zealand, AgFirst, Engineering New Zealand, NZTA, Network Tasman and Transpower. We contacted the Department of Conservation Office in Tākaka, as we wanted to specifically draw attention to the unknown heritage status of Dragons Dam located in the Aorere Goldfields or Dockland. So submissions could be made via the Shape Tasman consultation page or via email. There were 213 visits to the Shape Tasman consultation page by 169 visitors during the period. We also shared the information in Newsline on the 5th of April and through a Facebook post on the 9th of April. There was limited interest from the community in commenting on the draft policy, and we think that that could largely be due to the operational and technical nature of the policy. It only directly affects dam owners in the district and their engineers. We did receive one submission via email on behalf of Irrigation New Zealand. So they're an organisation representing over 3,800 members nationally, including irrigation schemes, individual irrigators, and the irrigation service sector. INZ was supportive of the policy. In its submission, they suggested some aspects may still be ambiguous, but that these largely arise from the Building Act and the associated regulations. And staff note that care has been taken not to bring the requirements of the regulations into the scope of the policy. It's the Act itself that requires the policy. INZ noted in the draft policy the objective to maintain a database for all dams and suggested that the inclusion of the word all continues to create confusion about whether it applies to other various structures. Staff agree with this feedback, and we recommend that the panel remove all from the first sentence of section 3.1 of the policy so that it aligns with section 151 of the Building Act. Staff also advised that the Nelson Tasman Civil Defence Emergency Management Group has reviewed the policy and confirmed they are comfortable with the content. There's a couple of mentions in the policy of them where we notify them or work with them if required. The staff recommendation is to proceed with the policy as consulted on with minor amendments. And we recommend that the panel recommend to the Environment and Regulatory Committee that the policy be adopted. If the panel recommends the policy is adopted and the committee agrees, the submitter will be informed and the policy made available on the council's website. We're also required under the legislation to provide a copy of the policy to the Chief Executive of MB. And I think that summarises the report for you. Happy to take any questions.
Okay, so any questions? Because from my reading of the reports was the only change is the removal of that word all.
Yeah, and also just a minor amendment to correct it to what the regulations now say with that higher threshold. So they updated the regulations and we just corrected the policy.
Is the other two members happy with that?
Yes, I am. I mean, it seemed like quite a few hits to the Shake Tasman website, but not a lot as a result of it. So I'm not sure what that tells us, but.
Well, I know one of the members of Irrigation New Zealand is Waimea East Irrigation Company, and they've got about 80 shareholders. So that might have been some of the hits. Others might be orchardists with small dams, I would have thought, Barry.
I told my brother-in-law to have a look, and he did. And he come back and he said there was nothing that's going to scare him out of the shoes he was wearing, so he was happy. So yeah, no, I think, and I've reread a couple of times the changes, just taking them all out, but I read through their commentary and I'm more than happy with it. Yeah.
Right, so one of you two prepared to move?
Through the chair, could I just ask a question? Is the intention to send the report with the existing draft policy to Environment and Regulatory, or will you provide an amended policy to Environment and Regulatory?
The attached policy is the amended policy. So that.
Okay, so you've made the amendments already. Excellent. Thank you.
Right, so it's moved Councillor Mackenzie, seconded Councillor Dowler. I'll put the motion then if there's no further discussion. There's not. All those in favour, please say aye. Against? Carried. That's it. I don't think there is anything else for us to do. No, there isn't. So I'll ask Councillor Mackenzie to do the closing character. I said this wouldn't take long.
Thank you very much. And just before I do, thanks very much for, Amy, for all the work on getting it to this point. Thank you very much. Kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa pounamu te moana, aroha atu aroha mai, tēnā tātou, tēnā tātou, tēnā tātou katoa. Let calm go forth, the sea shines like the greenstone. Goodwill has been exchanged. Acknowledgements to you, me, and everyone here.
Kia ora. Thank you, everyone. May everything be as quick as this that we had, or as simple.
Next 2 days.
Yeah. Thank